Is it on? It's on? Okay. Hello, my name is Solomon. I am the production designer as well as one of the leading actors in the movie Lucitas. And today I have been called upon to actually address certain questions that were raised during a meeting as well as a convention involving the movie and involving some aspects about the movie. So it's just four questions. They're really short. I'll be discussing them briefly, and I will give some information as well as some insight as into my personal opinion as well as something from the movie that at least reflects the question. So the first question is, how does your product use or challenge conventions, and how does it represent social groups or issues? So our movie mostly uses conventions. We don't do much challenging. Our movie is a coming of age slash drama movie, and our movie mostly uses conventions. In which case, that we have a character who is progressing through life mostly, and we decided to use the most biggest change in life, which is around early 20s to about mid 20s, late 20ish, which is where we mostly see a lot of people grow. And we decided to make a movie, take that age group, and we decided to make a movie about a chef who is very down on his luck and is given the opportunity to run his own restaurant from his deceased father, who was a famous chef. That's one of the conventions that we decided to use. Another convention that we use is a usage of a lot of music, as well as that we do have a very at least stressful moment in the movie. And the thing that I feel like makes it a little bit a drama is that there's that certain moment in a lot of drama movies that have that very sudden change in it. It can come from either like a person being presented in there, or a certain item comes into play that kind of changes the entire atmosphere of the movie, or at least the entire attitude of the movie, and that comes from one of our props, which is the letter. It's the will that his dead father had given to him before he had passed away, and that movie kind of changes everything. It's very brief at the very end, but it kind of gives more optimism to the very, bleak and very sad view that Josue, which is our actor's life, because he had been down on his luck many times beforehand, although it's not very addressed, but you can kind of tell from how he is the entire time, which is very stressed, very pent up. So he's kind of been through this rodeo the entire a lot of times, and that one key item kind of flips everything. It's just like, oh, okay, let's see where this goes. So, to answer the second part of that question, which is how does it represent social groups or issues, I actually mentioned it a few minutes ago. So, the social group that we're mostly going to go through is very early 20s adults. The reason why we chose to go through this is because that type of age group is one of the most stressful and one of the most stressful moments for anyone to deal with, because you are basically thrown into this world with nothing to hand it to unless you're filthy rich, which, hey, good on you, I guess. But it's a very stressful moment in everyone's life, because you have to deal with everything that your parents had to deal with, but you never bothered to care, or you just never thought to ask, because your parents were always the one handling it. But it's basically that you have to deal with getting a job. You have to deal with a lot. You have to deal with getting a job, family members, securing opportunities for yourself, which is very stressful for a lot of people to handle. So that's mostly the social group that we're trying to represent during this movie. Another social group, which actually is a challenging convention, which I should have mentioned beforehand, is that we're trying to do like an all Hispanics. This mostly comes from because I have never personally seen a Hispanic drama, neither coming of age, unless it's the movie Chef, which ironically is also a chef movie. but but just the implementation of having Hispanics in there is mostly to show that we don't come from a place of very, very high expectations when it comes from societal stereotypes. So just because we're always thought of as either like a janitor, a lawn worker, or something of that type of blue collar service industry. So having the opportunity to make a movie where we can at least show a Hispanic becoming a very important part into society, as well as being able to run his own business, is a great thing for us to see. Okay, I think that's all the time I have for this question, and I'll be leaving you. Thank you for joining.